Everyone, I'd like to welcome you to the Jackson County Board of Supervisors meeting for Tuesday, January 31st of 2023. Don Schwenker, Ian Flegel, myself, Mike Steinis, are your county supervisors. I had Lisa and Bjorn from the auditor's office. Luann, our executive assistant in the background. We have Mary here from the media. And to start our meeting today, first on our agenda is Todd Keeney, our Jackson County engineer. Good morning.
Morning. First item here is the award of the rock quotes. I just handed you the basically the breakdown of the minimum contract amount for each supplier. And then I think Supervisor Flegel had asked a question about if we use our own loader. And I don't think I gave the correct information. So we do use our own loader. Just depends on whether they have a decent loader in the quarries. Bellevue Sand and Gravel have all their own loaders and those. So if we do use our own, it's 50 cents off per ton. So at the bottom there, you see that 25 cents per ton in red. That's just an estimate that we're gonna, about half the rock we're gonna load ourselves. So that comes, that 726 is estimating that we're gonna load about half of the rock ourselves. So that's what that is. So there's about a 64 cents per ton increase over last year. So on average. So just, I guess, what you typically do is just a motion to approve the awards.
We lost a couple quarries, didn't we, this last year?
Yes.
Did we lose Armstrong too?
Orange door. Frost. Grant.
I would guess Armstrong make quite a difference up northern part of the county. I don't know.
Is that, I think there was one that they were out of rock. Like
Yeah, I
they would
heard
have
that
to-
they were out of rock and I don't know why, but. So what is the pleasure of the board on the rock bids? Move to approve.
Second that.
A motion and a second to approve the rock bids as presented. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carried.
Okay, the next item is discussion about the all systems permits. You guys familiar with that?
Not so much.
So the all system permit is a permit that commercial haulers can get. It's $500 and you can haul on any route that's listed on the all systems map except the interstate routes. And what it is 25% of the $500 goes into the disbursement of road use tax, just like normal road use tax, cities, counties, and DOT. 75% of that gets split equally among the counties and the counties and the DOT that participate. So if you don't have a road on the all systems map, you don't get any money other than the 25%. So it's similar to the governor's proclamation that they make each year for harvest, that kind of thing. Other than it costs money and it's not just for ag products, it could be anything. So what I'm proposing to do, and it doesn't take action to the board, we just need to select what roads. It's kind of a strategy, but I think there's 9 bridges. Origin's gonna check the continuous multi-span bridges. For this, it's a 12% overload over the normal trucks. So let's say a truck can have 80,000 pounds, you can go 12% over that, and then that's considered your new legal weight. So now you have to just analyze the bridge to make sure it's good for a 12% overload. In most cases, the newer slab bridges or pre-stressed bulk T bridges are gonna have that capacity. So they're gonna check that. My plan is to put the paved road system that has bridges that can service the 12% overload on the all systems permit. And then if we have a constituent or somebody like a farmer that's got a bin site or something on a gravel road, and he wants to put that gravel road on the all systems permit, that we would evaluate that gravel road or each individual request for gravel roads. I think it's too big of a task to try and look at every single gravel road. Really, because we have a lot of bridges that wouldn't qualify anyway because they're posted, but I would just handle the gravel road requests routes like individually.
So there's no way, I mean, I had a couple calls, actually, I had one call from a major corn producer or crop producer, I should say, and he said that $500 ain't doing nothing for you, it's just gonna tear your road apart.
So here's I guess the flip side of that is, cause I asked the DOT, I said, well, what's the scuttlebutt or what are you hearing? Is the governor gonna continue to issue the proclamation? And if the answer is yes, then we might as well do this because those overweight, that's 12.5%, the governor's proclamation, they can go 12.5% overload. So we're gonna get those loads anyway. So, and we're not gonna get any money out of it.
So if she does that, is it another 12.5% on top of that?
No,
No.
it's from the legal
Okay.
total.
So basically, you're talking 90,000.
Well, yeah, 96.
80. So 10 times 8 would be 8,000, so not 10, another, 2%.
So it's whatever, so there's some that are 80,000 legal, and then there's also different truck configurations that are legal over 80.
Wow.
But you can't go over the axle weight, so it's still the
Well,
20.
his concern was that we're just gonna continue to rip our roads apart and bridges and whatnot, I mean, it's whatever this proclamation was or whatever happened here when they did this, that they didn't consider the damage that was gonna be done by it.
Well, it's the same consideration they don't make when the governor proclaims that you can haul
Right.
legal at 12.5%. So
Yeah,
it's,
and if she's gonna do that, you might as
So-
well try to claim some money.
Yeah.
We can actually minimize the roads that we put on this, correct?
yeah, you can pick and choose. Any bridge that's questionable, or I know like some that say if you have a 6-inch PCC pavement that's in bad shape, you could say, well, I don't want trucks on that road, and you could take that off. What I've asked this question specifically, if we have one road that's on the all systems permit, we get our share of that money. So you can be very choosy on which road you put in, but to me, I would want to make it. What does make sense? If we can put our paved road system, they can handle the overloads on there, we should do that.
Okay, so is the state using all of their paved roads? Are they putting all their paved roads on? So you gotta tie in, whether you tie into 52, 62, or 61, somewhere, 67, whatever state road that we have, that's it, I think. So it's like, whatever roads we put on, certainly has to tie into one of them, otherwise they're not legal anyway.
Right, so the state is gonna have every road on there pretty much, except the interstate system.
Okay,
Unless they have like a state highway that has a bridge issue or something, they might not put it on there, but for the most part, their system's gonna be on there. And you're right, we would want connectivity to the state routes. Now, I mean, that makes sense, right? So again, like that guy that talked to you is that, it's gonna tear up our roads. Well, at least we have a choice to get paid for it if we allow it, because when the governor's proclamation comes out, we don't have a choice.
Can you lift the governor's proclamation is for every road or just?
It's for every road as long as, but they still have to abide by any posting. So if there's a bridge posted, they can't go over it if they're overweight.
so it starts what, September 1st, it runs, normally they extend it to middle of
August
December.
It's still going on.
Yeah, it's still going on. Okay, well, I guess we'll wait to,
So, would this be all the time then, or would this be kind of
It's
just?
annual. So we can add and remove roads anytime if we want to. And this is an annual permit, just like any other annual permit.
How much money you thinking this is gonna generate?
So that's what I don't know. I've asked that question and they won't give me well, this is 1,000 permits across the state or 500 permits across the state. So what my plan is, put the paved road system on there, let's do this, see how much money it's bringing in, and then we can kind of decide.
Well, we can wait time to put it in and all this stuff versus what we get out of it. We can kind of.
Well, I kind of want
Cost
to,
analysis that way, cause I don't want you spending hours and hours and hours to put this on in. They're like, hey, it's $2,000, woo,
So I would say we'd want to put the payroll system we're comfortable putting on and then see what kind of revenue that generates, and then we could decide whether it's worthwhile.
Okay.
But the flip side of that is, if they continue with the governor's proclamation, then we might as well do it because we're getting those loads anyway.
Well, I mean, yeah, like you said, we certainly have to have one route, or two routes or whatever. To be involved with it.
A few main roads. anyhow.
So like you see, there's gonna be several roads that we're not gonna be able to put on here because of the river bridges that we have that are posted, so. You're still talking about a smaller subset of your paved road system, so. So
Okay,
when-
well, we'll wait for a recommendation.
When
Your
we get
thoughts
the final review from Origin for those 9 structures, then I'll come back with a map showing, hey, these are the roads we're gonna put on, and then if you want to tweak it, we can. But again, it doesn't take action to the board, but I just want to make sure you're aware of which roads we're gonna pick, so.
Okay,
All right, thanks, Todd. Next item of business.
Resolution to establish a speed limit on Sebring Ridge Road. So there's already a speed limit posted there, but this resolution actually makes the speed limit signs enforceable, yeah.
So this is
What's
nothing
the-
new, but
what's the posted speed?
what is it?
40 miles an hour. It's just for the paved road portion there.
So it's already posted 40 miles an hour.
This makes
It's
it,
just never been accepted into ordinance or resolution,
Right.
which then makes it legal to enforce.
So it's just from the bottom of the hill to the top of the hill, basically is what you're saying for 40.
yeah, or from the top to
And
the
then,
bottom.
and then the gravel is 55, correct?
Yeah. Unless it's at night, then it goes to 45. That's by statute.
So the sign's already there, everybody should be abiding by it. So
Okay.
A motion second to back to resolution for the Sebring Ridge Road speed limit as discussed. All those in favor? Aye, opposed, nay. Motion carried.
All right.
Discussion possible action on retirement, Preston truck driver, operator 1.
Yeah, so Dave Ratchie, notified us, a few days ago about, his intention to retire. I think he's got about 22 years in. I mean, he's leaving because he's got things he needs to take care of. I don't think it has anything to do with the job here. I think he's got some other issues, so, but wish him all the best.
So how soon do you know that he's deciding to? Is he retired soon?
Yeah, I don't have that exact date. I can get
Okay.
it, but yeah.
Well, you're looking to post right away.
It's posted already internally, so we can find out where the opening is gonna be. That posting internally, I think. Oh yeah, so today is at 3:30 that closes. We've already had one person bid to it, so we're gonna have to at least post one more time. So we find out where the opening is. So
Okay, we changed the day, the length of them time.
yeah, I think it's down to like 5 days, like a week is all, so we can get the whole merry-go-round situation over, so we can.
That's so crazy. Why can't you just pull them all in one room and say,
What a rock throwing. Did,
"Oh, that's crazy."
so we need,
So just a motion to accept.
action to accept his retirement.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
I have a motion and a second to accept the retirement of the Preston truck driver operator 1 as discussed. All those in favor say aye.
Okay.
Aye, opposed, nay. Motion carried.
What happens if we say no? Does that mean you can't retire?
Well, I mean, technically you're removing from payroll is what you're doing. So I think you'd want to do that.
This makes it official. Now he has to.
So I have a couple comments, that our gravel roads really are in shape right now. I mean, they're gravel showing their spots. I commended a few of the boys. Of course, they had a tough time on some of that. I got, some of our hard surface, I mean, they wing that back a long ways. I mean, I noticed that the state roads are not winged back that far. Do we always wing it back? I'm gonna say 15, 17 feet. I mean, they got the original
Because
path.
then you don't know if you get another big snowfall, you got a place to put it.
I get it, but we know when the big snowfall's coming, normally 4 or 5 days ahead, but it just appears that we're spending a lot of time doing this.
So how far you wing just depends on what the length, the width of the shoulder and the force slope of what the slope of the force slope is, but
Mhm.
winging roads back, I mean, it just helps for, potential drifting. And that kind of
Blowing
thing.
it, yeah.
So state, I mean, it just depends on what they have, cause a lot of our trucks have wings. I think most of the states do too, but I don't think they get real worried about winging because if you look at state roads, you look at the width of their ditches
Mhm.
versus ours, they're typically a lot bigger. So, and they usually, a lot of them have the living snow fence, so they're drifting issues and they run 24/7.
Do we snow fence at all, any areas, or does Clinton County snow fence at all?
We
One particular
don't,
area that I asked my guys, why don't we? I mean, it's a bad spot. There's no ditch, of course, and it's higher than the road, and it's a bad area.
so we don't do, we do very, very little of it, but what we are looking at doing is doing like what the state does with the living snow fence.
Yeah,
Like where you pay them to leave like 10 rows of corn or something. And then, so you pay them for whatever the average yield plus the price at November or whatever it is. And it's I have the DOT's policy. And I want to do something similar for Clinton County. We could do the same for Jackson County, but we gotta make sure it makes sense. I mean,
yeah.
mostly predominantly gonna be like, on probably like your north-south roads, like wherever you have predominant drifting, it shows up all the time.
Well, obviously, we probably know where that is. We have record of that, I suppose, even with the drivers would know.
There'd probably, I don't know about record, there'd probably be memory of it, but yeah,
Right.
I doubt anybody's writing it down.
Well, we know where the bad spots are. So,
Yeah.
The drivers do, of course, or your shop guys. Okay, anything else for Todd?
I got a few things for you.
Okay,
Just kind of as FYI, we purchased 417 tons of salt in this month. And I think we're contracted for 1,800, so we have to take 80% of that. So we're well on our way on that. And we had kind of an odd January here, especially early. We had kind of like spring in January. So far to date, we hauled 7,200 tons of rock in January alone. Looking back over the last 11 years, the average rock hauled in January was 1,350 tons. So you can kind of see where that falls, like the amount of rock we ended up hauling in January versus what we typically do in January. Like roughly 5 times what we would normally, 5 or 5 times. The one thing I want to talk about is we started doing this winter operations log form. So each time Roger goes out or the leadman goes out to check the roads for condition and what we do and that kind of thing, I have them fill out this form. Like this was from the 29th. Went out and inspected from 4 to 6 a.m. Checked 3 different spots, 1 in each district, the condition, road temp, air temp, wind speed, and then he writes down what the instructions were, the general conditions, and then basically shows who showed up, who was called in the overtime. So he does this each time he does an inspection, sends that into the office, and then Stacy, I had her develop a winter operations log. So it's just a big spreadsheet. Each time we go out inspect the day, this information is transferred into the log. So we'll keep that each winter season, and then you can kind of start developing a documentation of what you do in case there's an accident or whatever, or say the next road foreman you have, he's got this information to look at, like, oh, these were the conditions and this is what we went out and did, kind of thing. So it kind of provides a historical what we do for maintenance in the winter. So just kind of an FYI on that.
So the extra rock was used to cover up wet spots or soft spots or?
Yeah, you remember where we got it frost started to come out and we got rain in January and we had rutting and we couldn't get the water off the road due to various reasons. So we ended up hauling quite a bit of rock. Then what was the other thing? Oh, my schedule for next week. I'm going to be here on Tuesday and then I'm going to Washington DC for NACE. And I'll be gone Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, but I'll be back. So usually I come back here, usually on Thursday or Friday or both days, but I won't be back next week on those days, but I'll be here for the board meeting on Tuesday.
Okay, and, are you around most of the day today or after our meeting today for a
Yes.
bit? If we want to just skim down to do the budget again quick?
Only for adding money.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll be here all day, so.
We wanna talk a little bit about that retriever and vote and stuff now, or you wanna do that?
I think we'll do that in the budget if we don't want to take up time here, we have to have a. Yeah, I think we can talk about that.
Alright.
Now, or what?
When we, if you're.
Oh, you're gonna call me back in later,
Yeah.
you think? Oh, that's fine, okay. Well, that's all I have.
Thanks, Todd.
Yep.
Okay, are there any citizens or visitors who would like to approach the board at this time, Mike?
I just haven't been here since we got the new supervisor. Just,
So
Just
maybe
information.
introductions are in order?
I'm Mike Griffin. I'm with the Jackson County Energy District of Iowa. Here and we operate in here, and then I'm also on the County Conservation Board. From Springbrook. But I just,
And then Flagel and Johnson.
all right, well, anyhow, Mike called me up a while back. You guys are working on the budget right now, and we came in and gave a presentation to the old board, and we're just follow up so you know what's going on. Is the Jackson County Energy District has applied for 2 grants for solar in the jail. And we're pretty sure we're gonna get $25,000 from the Hammond Moonshot Grant. And then there's a community facility grant that's for small communities. And we're in for 10,000 on that. We had our contractor, he got together with John Herron and looked at the jail and gave us a rough back of the envelope estimate. It probably cost about 77,000 to put in solar at the jail. Now, if we get those 2 grants, then that runs it down to about $47,000. And then in the bill that they passed in Congress, the infrastructure reduction grant, we should be able to recoup another 20,000 off of that. And that's a direct in lieu of taxes payment that they'll give you. It used to be only available to residents, citizens or whatever, but now governments are available for that. And there's also another grant that we're working on, and that's the federal low income, and Macokota is okay for that grant too, and that would be another $7,700. So the bottom line is.
So they qualify in the parameters of what you need to.
Right, yeah.
Okay,
So the bottom line is, we figured it's gonna cost about $80,000. The most, if everything didn't work out, would be $47,000 that we talked to you guys for the jail. And then with all the grants, if we get them all, it will be $26,000.
at one time I thought you give us a payback in years number, I do it.
Got a return on investment is 12 to 20%. Okay, and that would be from 5 to 9 years. You would get your money back, depending on where it comes in. Yeah, but I just wanted to make sure, because one of those grants has to have it in the budget. Mike, he remembers when we put it in there or whatever it said we were gonna put it.
And we also talked about, Mike, was the fact of extra support or anything that needed to be in that roof. I know you said you talked to John.
Yeah.
So if we need to have extra support for such a system.
Yeah, it's already, our contractor's already talked to John, and that's all okay.
So there's no extra cost.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, that was a concern that I
Yeah.
had.
like to get that in
Yeah, I would like to have that.
Yeah, you know how to contract, oh, yeah.
Well, change orders usually cost a lot more.
Out of curiosity, what's the lifespan of the solar panels?
Well, 25 years.
Okay.
Yeah, they're guaranteed for 25 years, and I have the savings here for the county. That will be $300,000 savings over the 25-year lifespan.
Cool.
Let mean, it sounds like a viable product, each project for us, I mean, I think it's working out for the Y, is it not? I mean, it seems we're going green, or we're attempting to go
Well,
green a
if
little
you
bit.
look at the county conservation board out there, we just approved at our meeting. And our bill was $46, I think, it's just the meter charges were.
Well, it would certainly look attractive to see the utilities reduced on that new facility,
Oh,
if that's the case,
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like we're borrowing the money I mean, we do have a resource here or there, then maybe that we could make this work.
So anyhow, that's pretty much what I got, but I want to make sure you guys have got it in your budget, so.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Good.
I don't remember, Lisa, if we had that line item actually in there, but we better write a note to that.
I
In
don't
fact,
think we've added it, so that was a figure that.
we'll
we
talk about that
questioned.
when we go down through our budget, yeah.
So on the high side, what you're saying, Mike, is 46,000
I
or
would-
77?
Well, I would budget at least 47,000.
Okay.
Just in case, and it looks like it's coming,
So we'd rather budget a little high.
that's what you guys.
Yeah.
The last board decided to do, was budget a little bit high.
Okay.
Thank you for your time there, Mike. Any other citizens or want to approach the board or have any comments at this time? Oh, we do have somebody else? Okay,
You're not here right now.
so Marty is our next appointment here. Marty, would you like to come forward?
Sure.
And we are here to discuss opening the parking lot concrete proposals. We have some proposals, correct?
Yes.
And did somebody say a proposal come in late?
Yes, came in this morning. Set it on the counter, forgot to bring it in Friday, he told me. And Luann stamped it and said it was up to you if you wanted to accept it. And I told that gentleman also that it was supposed to be here by Friday, 4 o'clock. If you wanted to accept it, you could as a board, but if you didn't, so be it. And he's aware of that.
So, I guess we post it for a reason. I don't like to say no, that I wouldn't accept it. But again, responsibility is responsibility. If you were set to have it in at a certain time. I'd say we almost have to follow the rules, or why do we have them?
Right.
I agree with that.
Okay, I guess it's,
Which one was late?
It's over here on my desk.
Okay.
So it's not there.
Okay. You want me to open it?
you have a device for him or no?
You got one?
Let
her open.
I have it open or something. There you go,
Thank you very much.
baby born.
This one is from Trevor Mangler. And it is for $29,687.
And these RFPs went out, there was specs to all of this. I mean, the grade, the re-rod.
Yes, I think everything but the material underneath it. If it needed rock, I think that's gonna be
Depends on what the soil looks like. Okay.
right,
All right, well,
okay.
suggest that we put,
Certificates of insurance and all that are covered, or was that part of the request for proposal?
I can't answer that. No, I'll check that out, but I'm sure there is. There'd have to be something, there usually is, but I can't answer that right now.
Well, it's usually required to be part of it, so they,
Yeah,
there's some way to come back and say, hey, this ain't working.
I would have touch base with Mike Clausing over here. He wrote most of that up because I only do, matter of fact, I've never done that before.
Okay.
So I have him help me
Okay.
do it.
What's our company name, just Trevor?
Also, he got is, Trevor Mangler,
From?
Delmer.
Okay,
All right.
It's a copy of the proposal from in your binders, by the way.
What's that?
It's a copy of the proposal from in their meeting binders.
Okay. The next one is from Dan Arsdorf Construction. And he does have a certificate of liability.
Okay.
And his is for $36,296. The next one is from County Line Concrete. And his is for $37,049.
Insurance?
Yes. This one is from Five Concrete. No insurance group. And his is for $33,478.25.
Luann, would you see if Mike is available quick?
Next door.
This one is from Casey Cosmo Construction. His is for $40,223. No. This one is from D&T Concrete. He does have a certificate of insurance. And his is for $31,729.
That it?
Yep,
Mike, can you tell me, was it required in the RFP that they supply a certificate of insurance?
I think Luann was gonna change that, so it was required. I didn't have it on the documents I gave from one of you.
I think in the proposal form,
On the proposal form, it says the following apply to the proposal, not required to furnish a bond contract in the amount of not less than 100% of the contract award. So they're not required to post bond for it. I don't see anything that says anything about insurance.
It's kind of a standard form that we use, and the contractors we use all have insurance forms on file. It's
Sure, I'm not familiar with the first bid from that gentleman. I mean.
the Trevor Mangler,
Yes.
young kid. Probably maybe 40 years old.
Worked with them before?
No, I have not. What?
Low thirties.
Oh, okay, okay. Yeah. No, I know nothing about him other than he gave me a card one day, so I called him. Seen him out at the hardware store and
We certainly have, arranging proposals. So. I guess we can certainly, accept a proposal that we've, subject to them providing certificate of insurance. They'll have to do the work if they can't provide that. Or. I guess you could table your. Action and investigate. I mean, I know most of these individuals are businesses that are local and
I know this kid poured concrete for somebody, but I don't know who it was. It was from not around here, but he has poured concrete.
with your knowledge and expertise, do you have a,
I would, if we're gonna do this, I'd like to call him and see what experience he has before cause I know nothing about this gentleman other than I know him.
But yeah, it's not a little sidewalk, so we wanna make
No.
sure he can.
Right. Right.
I'd just like to make sure if he's a business, he should be insured.
I guess I
Right.
would like to table this until we find out for sure that
Is there an award date on
these
there?
lower bids are
On the request for
Have.
proposals?
the certificate for insurance or that they're insured.
Is there an award date? Do we know?
I don't
When do we have
Yes.
to act?
I've never seen.
Was good for 30 days or?
Normally, that's what the bids are good for 30 days. There wasn't a award date on what I gave to Marty and Luann. We usually open the bids, wait a week so we can review them and, talk to the contractors if we need to, and then award them in the next week. Is what we normally
was that a motion then?
Yes,
I'll second it, that we're gonna wait a week and just kind of make sure.
find out on the insurance wise and
Okay, so I have a motion and a second to table of the awarding of the concrete proposal of the parking lot until further review of the quotes. All those in favor say aye,
I,
opposed nay. Motion carried.
I will check it out and get back to you.
Any other updates, Marty?
We're working on the new offices. I'm repairing the wall in the room that,
Flooring coats
I'm getting them. I'm short one yet.
and heater coats for Jackson County Care.
I have not heard back from them yet. I told Jared when he hears from them to let me know so I can inform you.
Okay, maybe.
maybe
give-
give them a call.
Deadline?
Yeah.
Well, no, I've heard that the proposal for the heater, they could be out anywhere from 2 to 3 months anyway to get a product, so we're limping by, I think, until hopefully the weather warms up.
And I do have a company coming next Monday or Tuesday to give us a second price on the roof. Okay? So.
Okay.
He thinks it can be repaired unless it's really bad, and I don't think
I
it's that
can't
bad.
remember
It's just
that
got a-
number that was in your budget for that, but it was.
Yeah, it was like. Was that what it was?
Between.
Somewhere in
Yeah.
that,
Your
yeah.
project, we're gonna do that.
All right,
Okay,
Thanks, Mark.
Thank you. Thank you.
sure, I can do anything you want.
thanks, Marty, Mike.
No,
Okay,
thanks,
next on
John.
our agenda would be John Keane, our Jackson County Attorney. Good morning, John.
Good morning. Thanks for making time this evening. I just wanted to update you a little bit on sort of some discussions I've been having with the auditor and with Marty. It was something that was floated past the Courthouse Security Commission last year as well, last week, I should say. And the idea is, increasing some security in the county attorney's office. Right now, if you walk in the door, legal secretary Jesse is right there. The door is open during business hours, and the idea was to move Jesse's office into Lynn Volp's old office. It's now a storage room. And open up that window that used to be there. And then put a window in. I think I talked to you about this, Mike, when you were there. With Lisa, is put a window to the public in through the wall there into the hallway. So that she can take payments, receive police reports and documents and other things without having to physically open the door all the time. And originally, I envisioned simply leaving the office where it was, but actually Jesse's idea was to go back in there. And while this was all going on, we repurposed some tables into the magistrate courtroom. It looks really nice in there now. I don't know where those tables came from, but they really fit in there in the magistrate courtroom. Looks like they were just made for it. And the old table that was in there would fit, I think, beautifully in that county attorney space, and that would be a really good place to do major case analysis, to meet with officers, to meet with victims. Right now, we've sort of been using the empty assistant's office to meet with victims, and we just bring chairs in. So anyway, that's the idea. That front room, we could use that table with those existing chairs, and that could be a meeting room, a conference room. Jesse's office would be in Lynn Volp's, what used to be Lynn Volp's office.
Well, what office is that? Is
We
that,
call it the fishbowl
is it where the cabinets are in back where
and the copier.
the cookies are?
Yes. Exactly.
So there's no windows other than, there used to be a window to the hallway there?
There used to be a window to the
So there's no
office.
doorway either, so I'm a little concerned that she can't exit or see what's coming, and I mean, the last time I was down there and we talked about moving that or doing something or putting a window in. She says, I'd like to see what's,
Right.
who's out there.
Right.
Whether she can hit the toggle switch or, remotely open the door, I would think would be easy enough to put something on. But we also talked about with Bjorn is, we just wired that to her desk.
Yeah.
Is there wiring back in that?
There might be one spot. Right behind the copier.
Well, it's an idea. It's an
Yeah.
idea,
Yeah.
since we're thinking about it, that existing window is still there. It looks like it was just,
I believe it's still there, but it's from one office to the next. I think we just covered it up.
yeah, you can actually see the outline of it if you look close.
So you can't see into the hallway though.
No, that would require a new window.
What kind of
something
wall is that?
I do believe that is a block wall.
Have you looked at this situation?
Well, years ago, I was up in there above there for something. And I'm not for sure which wall it is, but one of them walls is a bearing wall. But I'd have to go back up in there. I think the light in where the juvenile probation officer sits. I think one of them lights, if we take it down, there's a hole there and we can see up above there.
Okay, well, let's, I guess let's do this, John. Let us come down and take a look and discuss what your thoughts are with Marty at some point here. If somebody got anything they'd like to add or,
Formulate a feasible game plan.
yeah, we'll see what cost might be and talk about wiring. I know we get that done, a bunch of wiring. We hate to do it again, of course, but.
Well, I hope.
I
in
mean,
the
I
future
like
we
the
can-
security idea. I like to have her visibly see who's in the hall, whether she wants to open the door or not. I like.
When was that wired, you know?
Last fall or summer, whenever we did that. Yeah, less than a year ago.
Well, we certainly will come down and have a conversation of what might be more feasible for safety issues there. I
Sure.
wasn't touch base on that, but yeah, that did come up in the security security meeting, so. I mean, we talked about a vestibule type double door system like the sheriff's office also, but
And if that's more workable and works better,
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I like the idea of
I
a
don't know
window
how we're
that you can
funded, so I
open.
don't
and
have
close.
any input until I see it.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, well, just let me know, when you wanna stop in. I'm up there, I've been working till 6:37 most nights, and, so I'm up there all the time.
Okay.
All right, appreciate it, John.
Thank you all.
Thank you, Jen.
Lisa, are we down to your business or you want Luann to take hold?
Mine won't take long. I'm just getting a motion to approve the minutes of the January 24th, 2023 board proceedings as written by Auditor Smith and authorize publication in the official newspapers.
So I'll make that motion to approve the minutes.
I'll second that.
Motion and second to approve the minutes of the January 24th, 2023 board proceeding as presented. All those in favor say aye.
All right.
Aye, opposed nay. Motion carried.
I also need a motion to approve and authorize the auditor's office to issue warrants in the publication of the claims listing in the amount of $382,798.18.
I'll move to pay the claims as listed. I did question a couple of things.
Second.
Yeah, if everybody had a chance to look them over, I mean, yeah, there's some ticket items on there and I didn't have any questions, so. I have a motion and a second to approve the claims as presented. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed nay. Motion carried.
That's all that I have for the board today.
Thank you.
Mhm.
I'm sorry, we're past the visitor and citizen part. Do you want to address the board, sir?
I was just here for the 10 o'clock. Welcome
okay.
center.
Oh,
I'm sorry, I'm a little early. I didn't know how early or late. I
I just didn't want to have you sitting there if you were ready to go.
No, no,
Thank you.
thank you.
Luann? Good morning.
Good morning. All right, we'll start with the calendar, I guess. This morning at 11 o'clock is the Green Island Drainage District's annual meeting. For all of you, that will be in this room. Tonight from 5 to 8 p.m. is the ISU zoning and planning training session downstairs in the community room. Wednesday, February 1st at 9 a.m. is an RTA meeting in Dubuque by Zoom for all of you. At 10 o'clock is a 0 to 5 and 60 minutes meeting by Zoom for NIN. And at 5:30 tomorrow night is an Isaac's executive meeting in Des Moines for Mike. Thursday, February 2nd from 9 in the morning till 3:30 p.m. is the Isaac statewide supervisors meeting in Des Moines for all of you. Friday, February 3rd at 11 o'clock is an Isaac supervisors weekly legislative update by Zoom for Mike.
And that has been canceled due to the fact we were meeting on Wednesday.
Day before, all right. Saturday from 5 to 10 o'clock is the Macocata Chamber Gala for any of you that are attending that. Monday, February 6th at 9 a.m. is a Destination Iowa update downstairs in the community room or by Zoom from the Conservation Commission. The next regular meeting will be Tuesday, February 7th at 9 a.m. And that afternoon at 3 o'clock is a green space redevelopment meeting at the library or by Zoom for anyone who wants to go to that. And at 6 p.m. that night is the Jackson County Economic Alliance meeting here in Macocata or by Zoom for nothing. The only business I have this morning is discussion possible action on a public hearing date for the 5-year road plan. We do this once a year, usually in February. And I am proposing date of February 23rd at 7 o'clock for that
Where's that gonna be located right here?
in this room. Yes.
7 o'clock.
So
Yeah.
hang on here, that is the public hearing, so that is the 5-year road plan night. I mean, that's all transpires at the same time. We don't do the public hearing and then have the meeting on another night.
A meeting for, it's not a board meeting, it's a public
5-year road
hearing
plan.
for for the 5-year road plan.
I mean, it's
So-
the same meeting we've had at the fairgrounds or.
Yes.
Yeah,
Secondary Roads comes in, the engineer comes in and presents
Yeah.
his 5-year road plan proposal. And anybody who wants to comment is here and able to comment
And we're doing that here.
in this room so that we can zoom it.
we used to, years ago, we had it at Macocata Chambers.
Yeah.
And we've had it at the fairgrounds, and the last 3 or 4 years, we've had. Almost 0 participants. I would hope that
Okay.
we get a few, but hopefully they can fit in here. We can accommodate. I guess we can always mosey down to the conference room if we need be, but.
Well, it's just, I know when you did the fairgrounds one, the audio was horrific at
Yes.
best.
So while you were in here. Because it was tough. It was.
So I know you tried it
So,
at City Hall, but I think that was, there was issues with media time and a lot of different.
well, they couldn't do it in 2020 because
Okay.
City Hall was closed and they wouldn't let us in there, so. So, and I did ask about other Thursday nights, so 23rd was the only Thursday night that Todd was available. And I mean, there was 2 nights, we could have done it. The 7th, or we could have done it the 23rd, and he was not available, but except for the 23rd.
Okay, so pleasure of the board.
I move that we set the public hearing for the 5-year road plan for February 23rd, 7 PM right here.
I have a motion and a second to approve the public hearing for the 5-year road plan, February 25th of 2023 at 7 PM.
23rd.
23rd.
23rd, yeah, I got my 3 looks like a 5, but. It's
February
February
23rd.
February 23rd of 2023 at 7 PM. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
All right.
Aye, opposed, nay. Motion carried.
Was it for me?
Okay. So at this time, our public hearing is at 10. So, and Nathan's not here yet. So any other reports on, I was gonna report on security a little bit committee that we had, but we touched base with John a little bit on that, and we talked about some other things. They gave a proposal for lamination of the glass for Mr. Chief Deputy Crocker, which was in the 78,000 range. So we kind of tabled that for further discussion.
Combination of what?
All the glass,
You mean the whole building?
the whole, inside the
I
whole
thought you meant
building.
the kiosk, the way you said that, you meant the whole building,
No, the whole building.
laminate glass in the whole building. In the hall.
Our balance in the security fund was $9,934.75.
That ain't gonna cover it.
And that ain't gonna cover it. Panic buttons Bjorn needed to be tested again. I mean, you all got a copy of the minutes, correct?
Yep.
Okay, any questions on security meeting? I had a municipal league meeting with the mayors and Jackson County Sheriff was there, Crime Stoppers, emergency management. And they gave a report and he's working on a couple different grants. And all of the small towns certainly appreciate our RCTP program that we're doing. That will be funded again this year by us and that was about all we had for them. They have a waste authority meeting yesterday. And the new dump trailer is in. We opened bids for the existing walking trailer that we have that's about shot. And apparently it's still worth a little over $20,000. So they accepted the bids RFP on the selling the 2011, I believe it was, walking trailer that was needed some major repair, so.
I had the Macocata leadership meeting last Friday. And in there, you wanted me to check on the budget, we have $5,000 listed for the Iowa Initiative for Sustainable Communities. Whether that was still going on. They said, from what I gathered right now, there is nothing earmarked for the county to utilize that for, but they asked to keep it open because they're still working with the University of Iowa students, so projects could come up. So they were just saying, as of right now, they don't see anything, but that could change.
Okay. Anything else then that you have or anyone else?
I had the Irish board meeting and that's just kind of blowing along there for Jackson County. Basically, they kind of went over the Leisure Lake project, kind of filling the new people in on what the project all entailed and stuff like that. Dressler subdivision, still going forward, working on that. I think that,
I understand they have all the easements signed, but I
Yeah.
think the next step is user agreements, maybe?
yes,
So it probably will be a challenge, but hopefully we can move forward with that project. It'll be a good project.
yes.
Out of curiosity, I know in the past you guys were talking about reflectors and stuff on the South Main Bridge.
We were
There is
talking
one.
lighting.
I see one.
Rather large, I guess.
I'm hoping that's not the solution. As many people has kind of talked about how not being able to see the divider between the walkway and the driveway. There is one, I don't know, 4x6. Orange or yellow. Reflector put on it, but I didn't know what was ordered. Or
Have we talked to Josh or anybody about that? I guess or
In
even,
one meeting, they said
Todd or
they
Mike?
didn't do anything until springtime, but then
Yeah.
I seen that popped up, so.
I guess I have not myself drove it at night, so I don't.
yeah, it's just like one little spot.
Like a square.
You know, you see these black and white type reflective
Right.
striping too. I would think that would be easy enough if nothing else, but.
That's what I was thinking. I was just like, I just thought it was peculiar. You know, I was just like, okay, did they find that out back in the scrap or cut it off a sign or something?
I
But,
guess you'll know if you've made the wrong turn there, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
I know there's a lot of people thinking they might hit it.
Well, maybe we can touch base with Mike or Todd over here about
Okay.
some reflective.
I just know that they said something was ordered, so I just didn't know what that might be. So. I saw Nate outside, but.
I don't think we have time for Nate for a public hearing, and I have 9:58, so we will take a short recess at this time. So we are back and we will reconvene our regular meeting at this time. And on our agenda at 10 a.m., and I have 10 a.m. Is a public hearing on the sale of the Jackson County, known as the Jackson County Welcome Center. So I will open the public hearing. Are there any comments or concerns from anyone on the sale of the Welcome Center?
I has received no contact or phone calls or emails or anything in regards to this topic.
I have not.
I have not either.
I know you all know that we've been in negotiations. Over the past couple, 3 or 4 weeks on the sale of the property, and we have come to an agreement with a potential buyer. Subject to, financial approval, of course, and or any title opinion issues that may be on the property. So if there's any encumbrances of any kind, so we'll address them if so. Otherwise, I guess the information on the building itself, we've come to an agreement for a sale price of $140,000. And the property is to be sold as is. And the prospective buyer's name is Jesse Kilberg
With 2 other investors,
with 2 other
local investors.
silent partners. If so, and any other questions on the property? Any concerns, thoughts? If not, I would ask for a motion to close the public hearing.
So moved.
Second,
I have a motion and a second to close the public hearing on the sale of the Jackson County Welcome Center. All those in favor say aye.
All right.
Opposed, nay? Aye. No, I don't oppose it. I was slow on my. Yes. All in favor of the sale, closing the public hearing, say aye.
aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carried. In a slight delay on our internet. So,
I'd just like to say the retracement survey was completed. And the points that were marked out there were a little bit off, so
okay,
got that correct.
Is that guy's driveway his driveway now?
That came off of that west side.
Your driveway, I'm sorry, there was a gentleman before.
But these other points on the east end were off, and so that driveway is included in the welcome center problem.
I
So
think
as far
we
as the
knew
driveway,
that.
state that again, I'm sorry.
I can show you better.
So the driveway that goes up to the old rock quarry, I wanna call it, I don't know if there's a rock quarry up there anymore.
So this drive,
Yep.
they brought them points off of that driveway, Henry was right. But this point did come across this driveway.
Okay, so his driveway or the Kramer driveway is the Kramer driveway.
It is. correct.
Okay.
So,
And the
this point came over here on the other side of this driveway, so they actually own
I
that.
don't think we knew that there was an easement to get up to there.
So, and then these did come off of Henry.
So it doesn't cover top that, okay.
Yeah.
All right,
And it shows it on there. It's, you can have that. So it shows that right there, comes across that.
mhm.
Right.
And the other
These
driveway
removed
right here.
That's,
And where does this driveway go?
They're gonna.
Up to this.
The neighbors up here. This, he said he knows the road goes back
Yeah.
here.
Okay, and everything.
Try to bring
Far as I
tours
know,
back
yes.
into the
Okay.
county.
So do we have a resolution, Lisa? Okay, so
We have resolution number 940 1 31 2023.
would you please do that again?
So it's resolution number 940
But yeah.
Yep.
1
Yep.
31 2023.
Okay. So our next order of business would be to pass resolution for the sale of the Welcome Center.
Okay.
Okay, can we get the discussion? I know when there's a lot of people, just because I've listened to a lot of, when there's a lot of discussion going on, it kind of muffles everything. So are we good in the back? I mean,
Oh, sorry.
No?
Yes, I'd just like to thank you guys very much for
So
accepting.
we haven't officially.
Sorry, I was.
Going to jump the gun.
Sorry.
There's two other people, ladies. Is that,
Ma'am.
are you guys, are you good? Everything's okay?
Yeah, that's fine.
I'm just making sure we're not missing anything, and there's no questions going on there.
Okay, so we had the public hearing and we closed it, so.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
so,
one other thing though, I mean, it is contingent on this public hearing, that resolution will be good enough to move forward. We don't need anything on the purchase agreement, right?
don't believe so.
Okay, no, I don't think so either.
So my legal counsel says we're good to go with the resolution and proceed with the sale. You know, as whatever's in our agreements in the purchase agreement and the counter offer.
Yes.
So at this point, we're at the
I will
point,
make a motion, proceed like you just said.
okay,
I'll second
I
that.
have a motion and a second to proceed. Pass the resolution number 4940-01-31-2023, which proposes the sale of the Welcome Center and to proceed as agreed to in the current purchase agreement and counter offer. And all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carried.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys.
Chuck, Linda, Jesse, good luck.
Thank you for accepting it. Yeah, no, we'll do you guys proud. You'll be.
Yeah,
bring some
no.
Tax dollars back in, tourist dollars back into the county and. Do what we're.
Looking forward to it.
I'm really surprised that nobody asked what the intended use was.
I just asked him.
We know we got it's not itchy. I put her at ease. My beautiful face put her at ease.
No,
So if you want to hear it right from the buyer's mouth, I believe it's going to be as a rental.
It's gonna, yeah, so plans are to stick significant money into it and gear it towards a recreational, more an Airbnb, but more of a recreational type Airbnb, hunters in Green Island, bird watchers, river people, fishermen. Have it sleep anywhere from 4 to 10 people or.
Well, you know, with the proposal on the South Lake there and.
Yeah, that's what we.
It appears that you have good ideas there and we welcome it and appreciate your
There,
vision.
yeah, no, there's already enough great things to do in Jackson County, and that's just gonna be the icing on the cake, and we just wanna promote it a little better. Me and the two guys that are investing with us, the two other couples, husband and wife, we travel all over state of Iowa and the country, and whenever we're traveling, we look for places like this. So we just want to have something here, so when people get to come enjoy our county. And
Certainly sounds like a great idea.
Looking forward to see how it turns out.
Thank you. We're gonna have an open house hopefully later this summer after we're done and everything done, so we'll make sure the board gets an invite to that. We'll have some. So everybody kind of show it off.
Thanks for all your work too, guys.
Thank you, guys.
All right. I think that's a win-win for all parties involved.
Thank you.
I guess Chuck, you'll proceed with it. Chuck?
Chuck. Grab Chuck.
Chuck, you'll proceed with the abstract update and stuff then?
Yeah, I'll give it.
Okay. Appreciate it. Yep, thanks. All right, we're at,
Hey, Joe.
right on 10:10. Nathan Jones from Conservation,
Actually, a little early.
our Conservation Director. Good morning. Good morning.
So, I know I'm on there for an update and then also for a little budget question for you guys, if there was any.
We'll have a budget session after our meeting.
Yeah,
We've got a
okay.
public hearing also.
For department update, I think I'll start with, just the big projects we got going on. The harbor wall. We're waiting on the county permit. And that project can get going anytime. And I believe I've gotten everything sent to you for insurance. I never got a response, so hopefully that worked.
Well, and I forwarded it to Jennifer.
Okay, and she said the first one, it was just the dates were wrong, so,
Okay.
that project should be getting going. You've seen some bills for it, because he's got equipment there and
Another 60,000.
filings and.
Another 60,000 was approved today to come out of ARPA funds.
Yep, so hopefully, fingers crossed, that thing can get going soon, because,
Well, I seen in the claims that you paid for materials, so,
yeah,
are they put precast cement walls in there? Is that what I seen on the? claim?
yep, to the base. Before it was slatted oak that was rotten out, so this time he poured concrete on site.
Is that pretty much how we did the opposing?
The other wall, yep,
North side?
yep, so Alex just copied the plans you guys had from 2012 for the north wall or whatever you did the last time. So hopefully we can get that project.
Well,
moving.
hopefully with the cooperation, we can proceed with that, yeah.
Yes, that one makes me nervous because he was supposed to be able to start November 1 and we've been waiting on permits. So Lori, she told me I'd be getting it today, but I don't know.
Lori had some medical issues yesterday, so I don't know what her status is today.
Yeah, I was surprised she wasn't in that meeting. But yeah, so that project's probably the biggest ongoing project we got currently working on. Next Monday, we'll be giving you an update on the Destination Iowa project, so I'm not gonna go in depth on that if you guys can make it, hopefully. The other one that we're just starting to get the ball rolling on, just as you guys hear things and hearsay. We've had several meetings on it. Middle and Northfield Lakes, the Corps has a nest project on that for $25 million for habitat restoration, which would be dredging, fish barriers, trying to get the rough fish out, rehab it for fishing and wildlife there. So I had a meeting on it yesterday. I'll have another meeting in a week. We're just starting to get the ball rolling on that. It'll probably take a couple of years to get it going, but ultimately, hopefully we get that 25 million spent on it. We get it set so they don't move it somewhere else for that project. So that'll be dredging.
Is that like what they did in Bluegrass where they drained it?
Yes,
Take care.
kind of similar. I don't know if they'll be able to drain this lake with the river levels and seeping. That would be the ultimate, that'd be the goal if we could, but to save money and get as much done as we can. It probably is gonna end up being hydraulic dredging and some of that and tree plantings on islands built out in it and within the lake itself.
I would certainly think that would be a big attraction down there, and if we can do something with that, it sure is a
Yeah.
nice area. To utilize it would be phenomenal. I know Daryl was on Daryl's list for years. We just never could come up with the funds and.
Yeah, hopefully we have the funds that catch in it, and there is some catches. The way the program's set up, like if we are ever to do a boat ramp, they won't pay for the boat ramp or a parking lot or. So hopefully, as we do this planning process, when they do a construction landing, we can have them form the site and have it just ready to do, and we can get the grants from there. So that is one of the biggest projects that's kind of a lot of paperwork and research right now, trying to get it going. Hopefully, our goal is to have a public meeting on it, probably May, June, to start the process to hear what the public's ideas are to incorporate into the planning. Or as we know with government, the public might know something we don't know that could save millions of dollars about the system. That can go forward. So those are kind of some of the things we have going. I don't know if you guys have any questions on those projects or anything for us. I'll kind of update you on the Destination Iowa stuff Monday. Crew's still doing education programs. Been having Friday, we had a meeting with, I think it was like 12 or 13 different agencies out at the center. Conservation related to try to see how we can help each other. And funding means and opportunities. And one of those projects is Fish and Wildlife. We're working with them for a grant. They received $150,000 that'll be split around the state. He was there to present to some of these other agencies within us to work together and see if we can multiply the money in ways. We'll see what we can come up with that to get some habitat work on the ground. So doesn't sound, may not sound, but it's, my mind's boggled when I start getting all these projects going and what's going on for me. So, but yeah, I don't know. The crew's right now doing picnic tables and getting ready to build docks for the winter, kind of some of those things at the more shop work. They've been out cutting trees and brush on days that aren't below zero like today. But
Today might be a
Yeah.
good day for a
Yep.
picnic table.
so clearing, they've been clearing trees along the rec trail there at Preston, and it's been getting overgrown, so that's kind of some of their stuff they've been getting working on. So I've already run almost half of the time. Do you guys have any questions for me on what's going on?
I don't.
All right, so
You got a meeting tomorrow? No, tonight? No, that next week. Is that next week?
we'll have a Destination Iowa meeting next Monday morning downstairs at 9. Hopefully, Luann has that on your agenda.
But your board meeting was on the 17th, wasn't it?
Yes, we had a board meeting.
Okay,
I was, yeah,
I don't think I've seen them.
Next
minutes
one's on
yet.
the 21st.
I've not seen them minutes yet, right?
probably not, because I haven't signed off on them yet, so
Okay,
I don't know.
yeah, I know you, I guess.
Within that, I can give you an update on the last board meeting. I presented, so I've started a 5-year plan for the Conservation Board. About 50 pages into it so far, projects, things that can be looked for, things that need to be researched. It's gonna be an ongoing document that needs updated. And then I also presented an annual report, like a preliminary annual report to the board for questions. Haven't, within that, would have showed last year's revenues. Things we did last year on the area, how many programs we presented, how many people we reached, some of that stuff. So hopefully we'll have that complete and that will be out to the public soon too. But that was kind of the gist of last month's board meeting. Once you start going through all those pages and talk, it takes up a long board meeting. So yeah, that's kind of what we covered. I don't think anything pressing was pushed on to the next board meeting off the top of my head. So I'm hopefully we can do this monthly and keep you guys updated on what we talk and keep you guys knowing what we're doing and kind of where we're at with conservation and projects and everything. Because sometimes I know there's even disconnect between me and Lisa, and we talk a lot. So it's
Well, that's good.
hard to keep you guys in
Yeah.
the loop sometimes. So
Oh, that's, appreciate the update and
yeah,
like I said, we're close. We can stay updated and if we got any questions and
yep. So
appreciate it. All right, thanks. Anybody else have anything for the board? We do have a public hearing at 11 on the Green Island Drainage District, correct?
A meeting, an annual meeting.
I'm gonna hide
Annual
before that.
meeting, so. Is that during our regular meeting and that's a separate meeting? So we can, I do want to report, I forgot. We did have a meeting yesterday, with the railroad CP. So regarding, and Nathan was there. I guess to me, it was a good, very good meeting. I come out of it better than I went into it.
Yeah.
So I mean, they had representatives from Washington DC that flew in and they had 2 representatives from Minneapolis that came down. And they made their proposals and they certainly looked at what we talked about the first time, and they are proposing to leave that crossing open at 334th. And they claim that there never should be any longer than a 15-minute wait. They will decouple if necessary, not an issue, because it's at the very north end of where the side track would be. And they're also proposing another entrance to the north, but not up as far as where we were. So there's some issues, there's some land there they thought they had, but they don't have, so, but they're in the process of negotiating for that also, and putting in another entrance north, building up the north road of Smith's Ferry from where the 334th entrance is, and building that up, put some tubes or culverts in there and have an access big enough for be it a fire truck or emergency vehicle. So I guess I felt good about it. A couple of questions we do have, if they're gonna put a road or a service road in there, who maintains it? So it's gonna come up to some kind of agreement either with the county or we propose that they pave that road, but we'll see how that works out, but that was a good meeting, I thought. I think we had a lot of input. Unfortunately, Lori could not be there, so again, she had some medical issues yesterday morning, and at 4:30, she said she was in the hospital, so we hope she's feeling better. Certainly, and she comes through that okay. And no, there we had, well, the city was there, and actually the Corps was there also. Real estate division was there, and they seemed okay with everything. We discussed other options, entrance from the south or through the park, and I think I mean, basically, they were pretty cordial, actually. I says, you know, they were always considered the bullies of the town, but they were pretty good about it, and they gave us their word, and I said, whatever that's worth, that's good, but no, they were good about it, and it was a good meeting.
Did they talk about the track south of town?
They did, and it just wasn't feasible. And basically, they've got, Lori talked about the flooding permits and such, and well, they've done this already. So they did their environmental work already. Basically, this is where it's going. So they have a passing or a siding, I guess, in Green Island. They have one north by Dubuque, and this basically is of all the studies they've done, and not again be pushy or bully about it, but this is where it's going. So, and they're willing to compromise with us, and
Sounded like environmental review of south of town might have been an issue, probably wetland.
I would guess it's a wetland down there, yeah. So, no, I felt good about it. I forgot to report on that.
Okay.
Ongoing. Anything else for the board this morning? Otherwise, I believe we can adjourn, correct? No further business?
Motion adjourned.
Second
I
thought.
have a motion and a second to adjourn. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed nay. Motion carried, meeting adjourned.